Hello, everybody, and welcome to United Way, Live United. I'm Terry Westerfield, and I am so excited today. Don't tell anyone, but this is my favorite show of the year, so shh, bear with me now. I want to welcome to the program Alfred Gross, who is the president and general manager of the Royal Sonesta New Orleans. Hi, how are you, Al?
Hello, everybody.
Also joining us today, the executive chef, Corey Jacobs of Desire Restaurant. Welcome, Corey.
Hello, how are you?
We have the wonderful publicist, the Ms. Major Roberta Grove, who is everything at the Royal Sonesta. I'm going to make her smile here. We've got everything. We've got the Royal Sonesta, we have Desire, we have Revolution. It goes on, right?
It sure does.
And we're going to talk more about that. And Jamie Birchfield, my friend and colleague, who is the marketing director at United Way of Southeast Louisiana.
Hello.
Hello. And folks, it is that time of year. All right, everybody, sniff. Can you smell? I think so, because we're here to talk about Gumbo. And I know we're all still recovering from the carnival revelry, but look out, because here comes the first big post-Mardi Gras parade. And I am talking about the 15th annual Got Gumbo Cookoff and its Parade of Gumbo that is Wednesday, March 11th at the Royal Sonesta. So everybody can let that sink in for just a moment. Hope all of you are listening. Run to grab pen and paper. And I'm going to say it again, 15th Annual Got Gumbo Cook-Off. The Parade of Gumbo, it's all Wednesday, March 11th, 5 to 8 p.m. And with that, Jamie, I think we have to start with the godfather of Gumbo.
Absolutely.
Mr. Al Gross himself, as he's
founder.
shaking. He is. This is Al. This is when we talk about putting the fun in fundraising and philanthropy and good food. We've got to talk about Got Gumbo. And you are the Gumbo godfather.
Well, I can tell you that when we started this 15 years ago, I never thought that we'd grow up to be now a teenager, and which means that we only have room to still grow up.
Yes, we do. We're going to become adults and old grandparents.
Yes, we will. So, this event is, Sonesta is all about the culture of caring. And we do this in all of the cities that we're located in. And, so what we do here with this partnership with the United Way, which we are going to hear more about what you all do for the local community. I've heard it for years now, and I'm so impressed by it. We want to be part of that. And this event, partnering with this is just spectacular. And every year there's something new and different and exciting, and there's more participation, there's more attendance. So I think we're getting the message out there about the United Way and through Gumbo.
And that's it. And what a lovely way to do it, because that is one of our missions. We are there to help people. We can put it plainly and simply. We have a lot of other things that we can say, but it's to help people. And you do a great job, as you said, Al, of helping us help others, getting that word out, and about our gumbo of services to the community. And there are, folks, because, Jamie, I'm trying to remember right off the top of my head, I think we have over 80 partner or nonprofit partner agencies we call our community impact partners, and through them, and that's through all of you who are listening today and others, generous supporters, donors, who then help us fund 136 programs that are out there to help everybody from the tiniest child to our eldest grandparent and everybody in between. And there's always something to do to help our community be stronger and better.
Yes. And this is one of those fundraisers that it's a fun way to support those causes. As Terry said, the gumbo of services that we offer to the community. And I mean, how better can you support a cause by eating your way through it? I mean, that's just the best way. So it's a great cause, a great time, and we just invite everyone to come on out.
And we have a lot of interesting folks we're going to talk about. All the restaurants that are already participating, but we know we're going to have a few more that are come lately. But now we have to focus our attention, and we're going to hear more about Desire. Yes, Chef Corey Jacobs, who is the executive chef of the soon-to-be newly launched Desire restaurant. And Roberto will film that later, but come on, Chef Corey. It all starts with what? The roux.
Yes, the roux.
All right, come on. What do you do? I mean, we hear oil flour. Just let's talk about it. Everybody's got their favorite way to do things.
Well, everybody has a certain way to do it, but everybody's mom makes it the best way. So no matter what I say, somebody says, that's the way my mom does. My mom doesn't do it that way. It's not right. Well, he doesn't know what he's talking about. Well, we start with some very healthy butter.
It's
The fat-free
kind.
kind.
Yeah, fat-free and flour. And we go from there. And as you know, the flavor starts with the roux. The darker you get the roux, the more intense the flavor comes, the darker you get that roux in the pot. So, and we're making about 40 gallons at a time. So we start with a really big batch of roux to make ours really good.
All right, 40 gallons at a time. So how much stirring? And I'm kind of pitting the poor guys or gals who are standing there. I have this vision of huge wooden spoons and just stirring and stirring.
She just kind of canceled her gym membership, so she makes it. But it's one of our most popular dishes, and it's very good. And I think we won twice or 3 times the Gumbo Cookoff.
So you're throwing down the gauntlet.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
You
bring it on, in
You
other
won the
words.
People's Choice Award last year.
Ooh.
Picked that up last
Yes.
year. I think
That
you've done
is
that
good.
several years in a row now.
Well, see, I mean, I know there are all different kinds of ingredients you can put in, but like you said about your mama, love is sometimes, Corey, I think you've got the love for gumbo.
Yeah. I haven't missed many meals when gumbo's on the table. So we like to add the sausage, chicken, and shrimp to our gumbo, and okra. I've seen people chop hot dogs up and add to their gumbo, which is one of the weirdest things I've ever seen in my life. But
Somebody likes it.
again, that's the thing. If you throw anything in, as long as it tastes good to whoever you're serving it to, it's good across the board.
Well, now I'm wondering, Roberta, because I know you like to go out and dine. We all do. Al, as the president and GM of the Sonesta, when you hire chefs, do you say, hey, I need a tasting sample here. Make me a gumbo? I mean, are there certain things that, I mean, when you think gumbo, I can't think of any other state in the Union other than New Orleans. I mean, Louisiana. You think gumbo, you think Louisiana.
That's exactly right. And we like to hire wonderful people, but they better know how to cook.
And we can tell you, this man sitting next to us here, Chef Corey, he's amazing. He's just really, really talented. He's also incredibly warm-hearted and gregarious and outgoing, but he's just a wonderful human being, and I think that he brings a lot to the personality of Desire and what Desire represents, not just to the local community because it's a local's favorite. It's really a landmark New Orleans institution. I mean, it's been there 45 years, and it's very, very, you can't miss it. 300 Bourbon Street
Right
with that
there.
landmark, marquee,
Yes.
impossible to miss. So, but he brings that local flavor to the table, and what he's done with the menu, he's going to speak to you about. So we're really excited that we are in the process of relaunching. The restaurant is open now for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So all the locals out there that have been waiting, come on in and see us because the doors are open. Wonderful menu, and I know that Chef Corey is going to talk to you about some of the new and exciting items that we have that we're featuring.
Please, Corey, because right now I'm hearing breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and I'm not sure when any of you sleep anyway, but now it seems like...
Well, for those that don't know, we closed the restaurant for 3 months for the first time in our history. And as we've done throughout the hotel, we really mix the old and the new. So we have the old feel of Desire and the classic, of course, the iconic sign out in front and all the things that you expect out of the restaurant. And then we've mixed the new into it, so that we have so it's a really good blend of respecting the tradition, the bones of the restaurant, yet adding that new flair to it, and that's reflected in the new menu. One of the things that we gave Chef Corey is a whole new kitchen.
Ooh.
Wow.
So that he's got lots of new things to play with and lots of more capabilities than he's ever had in the past. So then he can speak to you about all the things that he's done with that
I
little toy.
want to hear, because if I wasn't hungry before, I already am now.
Lunch.
Go ahead. Yeah, I'm going to say,
We started with our breakfast menu in our brand new spanking kitchen. We added light starts to the breakfast where we do like a parfaits, and we're doing like an egg white omelet. We added a Benedict section where we're doing a crab cake Benedict, and we're doing a Bayou Benedict, which is a fried green tomato with a crawfish hollandaise sauce and poached eggs. We've added a breakfast po' boy to the middle, and like we said, we didn't want to upset any of our classics because we have been open so long. So we just wanted to tweak a little bit and offer some more options and make sure that everybody can come in and enjoy, whether they're 8 or 80, they can come in and enjoy everything on our menu.
Oh, it sounds all right. And you're not even all the way through the breakfast menu, but those are some of the classics.
Those are some of the things that we highlighted from it. I mean, we have all the omelet dishes. We have a crab and shrimp omelet. We have our homemade biscuits and gravy that our pastry chef makes every morning, and we add our sausage gravy to it every morning. We added chicken fried steak just for another comfort food for breakfast.
In other words, I'm going to apply it directly to my thighs because...
Let's just say you might not want to be on a diet when you come into design.
It's going to be fabulous. This is what New Orleans cooking is about. All these flavors, all the, sauce is delicious. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry. I'm just kind of licking my lips here, so...
Now, one of the things that we also added to our lunch menu is something that we really wanted to focus on to compete with other restaurants in the quarter is our char-grilled oysters.
Oh.
That says it all right there.
Yeah.
Everybody says they're like, ooh, you have char-grilled oysters now. I mean, talking to guests and everybody like, oh, man, y'all have char-grilled oysters now. We're definitely coming back again, and again. And being right on Bourbon Street in this semester, we get to see a lot of repeat guests, and they love the changes that we made, and they love the fact that we added a lot more fresh fish dishes to the menu. We've added a vegetarian po' boy to the menu, so roasted portobello po' boy with spinach and roasted red peppers. We've added crispy fried alligator. We've added crawfish cheesecake with a Zapp's crust, which is delicious. We also have our crab mac and cheese. We have spinach and artichoke soup. I mean, a spinach and artichoke dip that we do with a fried pasta.
Ooh.
We've done.
I'm not. Go back. Fried pasta, and then you dip it in the. Ooh.
Makes you smile just thinking about it, doesn't it?
Corey, I've been smiling since my face hurts. I'm just saying. Okay, all right. Entice me some more.
Okay, and one of the other things that we added was for dessert, we've added a fried peanut butter and jelly sandwich with a vanilla bean ice cream and chocolate sauce.
So will we be able to sample that at the upcoming Gumbo cook-off? That fried
there will be a version. There will be a version of it on the dessert stations,
or even just a private.
Yeah.
If you just want to give us a go.
You're considered VIP, so we can always get a special taste.
That's all I really want.
No, but you've got all these good things on there, and what struck me too is talking about the portobello and the vegetarian po' boy, because we forget. As times change, as palates change and people, a lot of folks have become vegetarians or like to embrace the lifestyle or sometimes just like a change. One of the things that we're doing also at the Gumbo, and it was, I think, by popular demand. Actually, Al, I think it may go back to you, godfather of Gumbo, a couple of years ago, where you said someone had asked you something about vegetarian gumbo, and we all those of us who love the shrimp and the crab and the such kind of went, huh? But there is a large group of people out there who are looking for a kind of maybe a gumbo zerb without the meat in it or things like that.
Everything in the food world changes and evolves, and so does Got Gumbo. So we are right there with the changing times, trying to stay with everybody or stay ahead of them, and show the latest trends as well in the gumbo world.
And to have something that you do, I mean, you've got such creative gumbos. I know you said earlier, Corey, that you do the sausage, the chicken, and then the shrimp. That's my favorite too. I mean, in terms of that's what I like to make at home as well. But there are all kinds of things. What do you have on the menu now? Is that the primary gumbo, or do you have different things? I mean, with Lent season, here now, do you do different special gumbos for Fridays or?
Actually, we have an oyster and artichoke gumbo oyster and artichoke soup on the menu as well. We typically don't change out our gumbos too much just because on that corner of Bourbon Street, that's what everybody wants.
That's your niche. That's what people want when they go there. They have the envie.
Because we're an oyster bowl, we have several seafood options besides our traditional fried platters and our po' boys and our upgraded fish section with the pan-seared goldfish with the corn mock shoe. We have shrimp pastas and oysters and boiled shrimp and fruits de mer platters. We have a ton of stuff for people that are looking to eat with us during Lent.
And that, I tell you what, that is just, you're right there, the big marquee, you can't miss it. And it is part of our culture, part of our history. The French Quarter, I always say the Céleste is the gem of the French Quarter. And I like what you're talking about, how you've got your place, you've staked your claim. These are the certain gumbos that you make or someone else. and some other famous restaurants come to play, we like to say. They come to your ballpark. They come to play. Sometimes they've won, yeah, but it is always a heck of a good gumbo game. And I do. Jamie, if you don't mind, let's fill the listeners in on just some of these others who come to compete with Chef Corey this year.
Sure.
So far, you can hear first time what that competition is going to be.
So far, we have participation confirmed from 1718 Catering over at the Hyatt Regency New Orleans, Center Plate at Mercedes-Benz Superdome, and that's Chef Raymond Signal. Charlie's Restaurant, Deanie's Seafood Restaurant, Desire Oyster Bar, Mr. Poor Boy Restaurant, Oceana Grill, Palette New Orleans, Redfish Grill, Restaurant Revolution, TPC Louisiana, and Tulane Sodexo. And we do anticipate adding on quite a few more to that list.
And it is. You know how they are in New Orleans. People kind of like to wait until the last minute, and we're getting phone calls and some email. And yes, believe it or not, even in 2015, a fax now and then comes in with inquiries. So one thing we can say for sure is that beautiful grand ballroom at the Royal Sonesta on Bourbon is going to be jam-packed.
Absolutely. And those restaurants that we just rattled off, they're going to be competing for best traditional gumbo, best exotic gumbo, best seafood gumbo, and as we talked about earlier, for the second year, we'll be offering the vegetarian gumbo category as well.
Yeah, and I just want to add to that every year I am very, very much impressed, and this is for the listeners out there to understand, that I'm very much impressed with the competition. And when you have a culinary competition going on with everybody trying to, they take it very seriously. They all want that. They all want to win, and of course the biggest prize is the People's Choice. So as a listener, if you're attending this function,
and please do,
you will be able to benefit from the competition going on by having all these wonderful creations for you to sample, and all in one night. So it's really a fantastic experience.
And you're talking about those who are judging. We usually have what we call the Crew de Gumbo, our panel, our celebrity panel of judges. And we have a lot of well-known foodies. People are going to know these names. And Jamie, if you can do the honors again and share.
Of course. Our Crew de Gumbo panel of judges includes Miss Judy Walker with NOLA.com Times-Picayune.
She's our senior judge. She's the gal who's been with us from almost the beginning.
We have Michael Fairburn. He is with Shell Oil Company, which is our presenting sponsor of the event. We have Miss Lauren Godin, the NOLA Food Goddess. Susan Ford with Louisiana Kitchen and Culture Magazine, Brian Bordanic, the founder of Dinner Lab, and Jeff Young, the Catholic foodie.
That's a tough panel. That's all I can say.
So those will be our judges that will be voting on the judge's choice. And then as Al said earlier, we'll give the power to the people, and the guests will be able to vote on their favorite gumbo. They will also be able to vote on their favorite dessert, because we do have desserts available at this event. And they'll be able to vote on the best decorated booth.
Yes, have to talk about
and
that.
And that gets pretty serious also.
Woo! It's fun. It is for every age to come. And that's another thing, Al, that I'm always surprised about. And Roberta, you may have seen it last year. Jamie, Corey, because I know you're all there. You see younger parents coming in. They're bringing their kids. They're stopping by after work. We've some of our faithful followers. We have a group of ladies who I believe are kind of involved in Red Hat Society. They come early, they come often. I tease that they're coming to vote. Never mind, we won't go there, right? But
we have people come in from out of town for this event.
One of my favorites, we talk about it every year. There's a couple that usually comes in, stays at the Sonesta from New York. They balance their vacation or days. They come to New Orleans quite frequently, but they make a special point of coming down when they know that gumbo's going to be at the Sonesta, and then they stay because it's one of the things they like to do. They just discovered it when they were visiting and staying at your fine hotel, and it's become a tradition with them and with us.
Well, it's such a bargain for one thing. It's $25 in advance. Where do you go? And you're able to eat that much, from 5 to 8. I mean, you couldn't possibly... I couldn't think of a better bargain than that. So $25, and I think that your price, Terry, has remained the same for a number of years,
yes.
And so I think that's really a great value and for a wonderful cause. So $25 in advance, $30 at the door, and they line up early. So if you want want to get there and taste these gumbos, I urge everybody listening to get out there and come to the Royal Sonesta, enjoy a wonderful sampling of New Orleans tradition, which is gumbo here in this part of the world, and you'll never forget the experience.
And I tell you what, we have to also, for the listening audience, to understand a little bit about United Way and so many of the wonderful individuals out there and the companies for whom they work. Theirs is what we call our workplace campaign. Because our different giving cycles of the workplace campaign ends at the end of March, this is a bit of a thank you, and always has been, to all the wonderful people who already contribute and support. So you take that, and then you also have the people that come in outside. I have to tell you, it's wonderful, because if there had been full price tickets for all the years, Al, my goodness, we already know that, well, probably over $200,000. Think about that. Think about what you've been able to bring and help the community with. But we think it would be even more. But because so many people are already giving and giving through United Way to help their community. So this is a very reasonable price. And it's just, it is amazing to me how many folks get a thrill out of coming, and then because to be in the beauty of the Royal Sonesta in that grand ballroom with all these fabulous chefs like Corey and others, and it really is just something that's quite special.
Absolutely, and not only can you come and enjoy your heart's content of gumbo, we will also have live entertainment from Rick Trolson and the New Orleans Po' Boys.
The house band.
They will be playing live there, and we'll have great raffle prizes and different opportunities for you to go home with some pretty good merchandise as well.
But it is, Al, I mean, this has been something, as I said, you're the godfather of gumbo here, and it is something that we're truly indebted to you and to all the wonderful, wonderful staff at the Royal Sonesta, because what you do for us that night, it's magic. And to think of again, not just the fundraising, everything else that goes with it.
Well, I got to tell you that you can't do it alone. And I have an extraordinary team at the Royal Sonesta that puts their heart and soul into this. They look forward to the event every year, and that they look forward to working with the United Way, contributing in their own way, and of course they get a little sampling too. So so it's something that we talk about in the hotel, and that we really look forward to, and then there's already buzz about it now.
And that's what we like. And it's so much fun. And I'll tell a little story. For many of you may know personally or heard of or known of Dr. Robson Lutz, who has lived in the French Quarter for many, many years, the former health officer for the city of New Orleans, and a proud Tulanian. Well, I say this because I believe it was last year, and the food group that had participated for Tulane University, is that Sodexo, had come in,
Tulane Sodexo.
And they were cooking something, and I happened to bump into him, and he said, "Wow. Now, I might have gone for another graduate degree if the food had tasted like this when I was
They
in
actually
school."
took home the People's Choice Award for Best Dessert,
Best dessert
last year.
So see, the gauntlet has been laid down in every which way. But it is kind of fun to anticipate, and I think that's something that the chefs like to do, as you said. Anytime there is a culinary competition, it's a very serious one. But it's also a very serious decision for a hotel or restaurant to get involved, because we're a city, a region that loves to eat. Al, Roberta, I have to imagine that you are just inundated by requests all the time. So I know that's got to sometimes be a bit of a pressure to choose who and how. But again, this idea that so many in the service industry, the hotel, the hospitality industry, do give back, I think it is phenomenal. And Al, you had been president of the, in those days, was it still Hotel Motel Association, or had it changed names at that point?
We changed it actually while I was in.
Okay, I'm trying to remember.
We evolved at that time.
Yeah.
In 2003. And then, I was chairman of the Convention Visitors Bureau. I happened to get the Katrina year, so I was the lucky guy.
But that's why you're also a godfather. You brought this back when people, we needed a shot in the arm. We needed some morale boosting. And you know what? I'm glad you said that. I want to go back to the other question, but the 10th anniversary, none of us will forget, and this is one that's particularly poignant. And Al, you and all the good folks who are so involved now, you were still at the Chateau Sonesta in those days. Water had come up. Things were moving on. We had to decide, as so many people were doing, about whether there should be a Mardi Gras, whether there should be an event like this, whether people came and said, no, we need this. We need to feel some normalcy. We want to feel good about ourselves. We don't want to lose what's part of our New Orleans culture. And you made it happen.
Yeah, there was an extraordinary effort, from the hospitality sector to partner with city officials and state officials, and to really bring back the chief driver of the city, which is tourism. Not easy to do when we had what we had, but through persistence and through a tremendous amount of effort, we put on that Mardi Gras. The jazz festival went on. That following June, we had our first big convention that came back, and then it started from there. We had $1.3 billion worth of convention business cancel, but you wouldn't know it today,
Right.
because New Orleans is going through a huge renaissance. The convention center is very busy and looking for expansion again now. So it's amazing to look back and see where we've come from to where we are, and so the hospitality industry's certainly been a big part of it.
To say, and again, the hospitality and tourism does so much for our city. Employees, I think people forget just how many it employs, how many people are involved in making this one of the, if not the top, tourist destination in our country. And we have world travelers overseas all the time that come.
That's correct. That is correct.
Let's just say our New Orleans brand has never been stronger.
Yes, that's a
Definitely.
good way to put it,
Definitely.
Roberta. Very much so. And I tell you what, I take a certain great pride no matter where I go, and people ask, well, where are you from? I'll say New Orleans. Everybody knows. There's always that smile that kind of breaks out. Yeah, and I can see Corey smiling right now to say, yes, I live in New Orleans. And there is. It is all part of that.
And everybody's got a food memory.
Oh,
You
it
know,
is.
Everybody's got a favorite, and that was one of the things that I just wanted to tag on to what Al Gross just stated, and that is, if you were away from New Orleans, listeners that are maybe still moving back, because I still run into people that are still coming back home. One of the things that really comforted people under that period of time was food, and they would gather wherever they were, of various parts of the country, and cook up their gumbos and their red beans,
Yes.
and they were seeking that their comfort food, and there's nothing that you miss more than your food when you're in that situation or when you're away from home. So Mr. Gross and the Royal Sonesta have been amazing. In I think instrumental in the recovery, the overall recovery, played a key role.
Oh, definitely. And Jamie, I know you had a few words you wanted to add.
Well, I mean, I just wanted to add too for with going back to the cook-off that we have, in addition to our generous sponsorship from Royal Sonesta New Orleans and Shell Oil Company, we do have a couple of other folks that we definitely want to mention this evening or afternoon. That we have some sponsorship from KPMG LLC and our participating restaurant sponsors, Charlie's Restaurant, Oceana Grill, Hyatt Regency New Orleans, and Mr. Po' Boy Restaurant. We also want to give a shout out to Rick Trolson and the New Orleans Po' Boys, and to Brant Images for coming out to photograph and help us document this event.
And they're also going to be reporting it. We know many of our
Correct,
media friends,
correct.
Roberta, we've already been in contact, and we hope we'll be coming to a morning show near you on television and elsewhere and in the paper. But just come, folks. It is a wonderful event. Again, we can't say enough about it. It is Wednesday, March 11th. What a way to spend hump day, huh? I always think of that commercial. But anyway, Wednesday, March 11th. And it is from 5 to 8 p.m. Come early. There is parking in and around the French Quarter. Folks, we are literally almost out of time, but I've got to pitch it back to Corey and Al to close us out, because Corey, all right, what are you going to say to your competing chefs? What do you want them to know and to fear from desire? Uh-oh. He's contemplating. He's too nice to have anybody fear. He just knows he wants to kick and
Be
take
ready
names.
to come in second place.
Ooh. Ooh,
All right, the gauntlet's down.
I like that one. And Al, you please close us out again, because of all the things you do. We so appreciate it. The long partnership has been amazing.
Well, all I can say is to all the listeners out there, please come. Enjoy the night, the evening, I should say. It's a tremendous experience, and you will walk away knowing that you had a tremendous time and you benefited United Way and the local community. It's an opportunity to really do it all, and we'll show you a good time, and we'll eat and we'll dance.
You won't go away hungry.
Oh,
right.
not at all. Thank you all so much for coming. Al Gross, who is the president and general manager of the Royal Sonesta New Orleans, executive chef Corey Jacobs of Desire Restaurant. We have our wonderful publicist, the lovely Miss Roberta Grove, who does everything for the Royal Sonesta, and Jamie Birchfield, a marketing director of United Way of Southeast Louisiana. And I'm Terry Westerfield. Please join me next week when we again live united.